Well, the rides are open at Coney Island, the air conditioning is on at the multiplex, and summer blockbuster viewing is back at the movies. There's a slew of sequels, more rom-coms you can throw a bouquet at, a whole league of superheroes, kids' films, comedies, and of course the usual clinking, clattering collection of robots and aliens. Let's get started. On May 6th, the first superhero out of the gate is Thor. Marvel Comics' Norse god of thunder here is played by Chris Hemsworth. He's been banished to Earth by his angry dad Odin, played by Anthony Hopkins. Then he has to battle his evil half-brother Loki. Natalie Portman and Idris Elba co-star. The pop mythology comes courtesy of director Kenneth Branagh. On June 17th, Green Lantern arrives, with Ryan Reynolds playing a pilot who becomes a member of an intergalactic corps of protectors. With the job, he also gets a magic ring that can create anything he needs while he battles baddie Peter Sarsgaard. Already in theaters is Fast 5, the fourth sequel to The Fast and the Furious, which brings back Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and brings along Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for a fast-flying trip to Brazil and speed racing like you've never seen before. Will this franchise ever run out of gas? Maybe not. We'll see. On May 20th, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, the fourth movie in that franchise, sails into theaters. And Disney's Buccaneer Bounty will apparently sail on forever, or at least until producer Jerry Bruckheimer has every doubloon from moviegoers' pockets. On May 26th, The Hangover Part 2 arrives, and if you think the boys have sobered up, Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, and Ed Helms are as wasted and lost as ever, this time in Thailand, where Ed Helms' Stu is getting married. And of course, they all wake up with a bad case of deja vu. May 6th is when romantic comedy fans' hearts will start throbbing. First out is Jumping the Broom, starring Paula Patton and Laz Alonso as a bride and groom who just want to make it through the wedding without their mothers-in-law, played by Angela Bassett and Lorna Devine, ruining the occasion. On May 13th comes Bridesmaids, which has been described as a hangover for the ladies. Maya Rudolph plays the bride at the center of it, who hopes that her best pals don't make a shambles of her big day. Kristen Wiig co-stars. On July 1st comes Larry Crowne, Tom Hanks' first directorial effort since 1996's That Thing You Do. Here he reteams with his Charlie Wilson's War co-star Julia Roberts, where he plays a middle-aged guy who enters college after getting laid off. Littlest moviegoers are going to have a lot to choose from this summer as well, going from the gentle return of Winnie the Pooh to the revved-up Pixar entry Cars 2. But on May 26th, the first Karate Chop comes courtesy of Kung Fu Panda 2, which tells of the return of the roly-poly panda called Po, again voiced by Jack Black. The first one earned millions at the box office. This one should be no different. On June 24th, Cars 2 puts the pedal to the metal. Pixar's speed demon Auto Lightning McQueen, voiced again by Owen Wilson, teams up with Mater, voiced again by Larry the Cable Guy, for an international race laced with espionage. On July 15th, the adorable bear called Winnie the Pooh returns to theaters, with Zooey Deschanel singing the theme song and Jim Cummings, who's been voicing Pooh for more than 20 years, back for the ride. Now, one of the most buzzed-about movies of the summer comes from one of our hottest directors and recalls an era when the phrase summer blockbuster first became part of our national language. It's called Super 8. Now, the fact that it's directed by J.J. Abrams, who last directed Star Trek, and produced by Steven Spielberg, means that you can't really call this an under-the-radar film. The title refers to the home movie made by some small-town Ohio kids who record a local train crash in 1979, and then they realize it may not have been a crash after all. There are some spooky goings-on, some sort of alien on board that's traveling from Area 51. And if I were you, I'd bet my entire collector's edition Star Wars trading cards on the fact that this thing is being a monster hit. So the summer of 2011 is going to have something for everybody. Whether you're currently sleeping on Winnie the Pooh blankets, collected Thor comics as a kid, or remember those great blockbusters in the 1970s. I'm Joe Neumeyer, film critic for the New York Daily News, talking about 2011's summer movies.